How would you, let's say, especially because you have older children, how would you and Greg talk to them about equality in marriage, getting them set up? Because I don't think either of them are married yet. One, I think, is engaged.
My oldest daughter is married.
Okay.
My middle son is engaged now.
Okay.
Well, I homeschooled all my kids growing up too, and I made sure that all of them read, like, Why Not Women? All of them grew up knowing that, okay, this is what God says about how a woman should function, and within the church and without. And I've always made sure that part of their curriculum was knowing how a man should treat a woman, how that they're supposed to love their wives, and how it's mutual submission. So I made that part of their upbringing. Not that, I think in kids' church, it's just a subject that doesn't really come up very much, even through youth group. It's not something that is really talked about. So I wanted to make sure that all my kids were aware of that, so that my daughter going into a marriage wasn't going to be under someone's thumb. And so that my boys, in looking for a spouse and in how they would treat a girlfriend, even, that they knew God's thoughts on how women are equal.
It's interesting because I grew up different. I grew up in a church where, we would split the boys and girls a couple of times a year, and the men would get the boys would get the porn talk, and the girls would get the save yourself for marriage talk. And and so as a 14-year-old girl, I was leaving with with this idea that my entire worth as a wife was in having children and, being led by a godly man. And so, like, for me, I didn't, having my personality, like, I was just like, it doesn't sound like a lot of fun to me. Like, but that's what we were being taught as girls. It was, you cover yourself and you don't wear a bathing suit around boys. Everything in our world revolved around protecting the men around us. And I'm like, I'm 15 years old. Like, can we give me something practical, like, for where I'm at right now? Like, and so the conversations that we were having in our youth group were not setting me up for a healthy marriage. They were setting me up for, believing that women were, like, basically, like, here for sexual gratification. We were here to take care of our homes, and we were here to make sure our husbands had everything they needed. And, for a woman who has personality like me, I am like, I want to do more than that. Like, I don't have anything against, like, women who want to be homemakers. I think that's a beautiful thing. I think stay-at-home moms are such a gift. But I was like, I don't want to do any of that. I want to lead things. Like, I'm administrative, and I want to, like, be in charge of things, and I want to do, like, really big things. And I was like, I don't know how I can do that if, and Luke and I are in our 30s, and we don't right now, we don't have kids. We're not sure when or if we'll have kids. And a lot of that is because, we're goal people, and there's so much we want to do. And, I've had, people be like, well, why aren't you having kids? At your age, you guys should be having teenagers. And I'm like, that's just a choice we made. I'm sorry. Like, I don't want to tell you, but I feel like we set women up at such a young age that, their path is wife, mother. And then I talked to all these women who they've been a mother and a wife for so long that they're in their 50s and they have no idea who they are, because that's all they became for 18 years or 20, however long it was. And they completely lost themselves in these two roles, because that's what the church told them they could do.
It's interesting that men don't ever go, growing up, you're going to be the husband and father.
Right?
Like, you don't hear that. I mean, no. But, like, biblically, I think that is there some way. Like, okay, hey, you rule over creation, etc., but be fruitful and multiply. So there's this concept right away that, okay, you're going to lead, you're going to be a family, all these kind of things, but we only put it on the woman.
Yeah.
It's not about, you're also, yes, you're going to do this, but you're going to be a husband, you're going to be a father, and, like, this is what is in that as well.
You're also responsible for your family. Yeah. Be a part of your household. Do the vacuuming. Like, it's kind of that, it's like this weird, it's something I'm still breaking, a habit my husband is still trying to break me of, is when he is helpful around the house, I'm always saying, thanks for doing that. And he's always like, you don't have to thank me for taking out the trash. And I'm like, you're right. You're right. And it's like a habit I have to break because my husband is just an equal part of our household. And that's what it looks like for us. And so, you know, he cleans the bathroom so well. And I'm always like, thank you so much for doing that. And he's like, you're welcome, but I'm just being part of our house. You know, it's like, stop telling me thank you for just being part of our family, you know.
Maybe he's not worth of affirmation.
No, he is. He is. But he's so like aware that like, he doesn't thank me every time I do the dishes. He doesn't thank me every time I sweep the floor. And I do the majority of the house cleaning because I work from home and I have more flexibility in my schedule. And he doesn't think to be like, thanks for doing the dishes tonight, you know? But like, sometimes he does. Sometimes like, he'll be like, thanks so much for making dinner. Like he does. But it's not like a daily where we're just like walking around thanking each other for being part of our, you know, and I feel like with men, we don't think there is such a weird standard that like when a man does something, we're like, oh my gosh, you did such a good job. Like a man does something with their kids and we're like, dad's babysitting. We're like, nope, he's being a father tonight.
Right, exactly.
He's not babysitting, he's being a father.
Right.
You know, where it's women, it's like, we're like, we don't ever say the woman is babysitting.
Right.
Mom's babysitting again. You know? And so I feel like, you know, training our sons up to be equal parts of our household. And, you know, like, this is why I was so glad that my mom gave all of us chores. Like the boys got chores, the girls got chores. Like we were all equal parts of our household, you know, because I think it's important to train boys and girls up in that mindset that we're all equal parts of our household because we all need each other. It's not.
Yeah, I taught my boys how to do laundry.
Heck
you know,
yes.
like all those things.
We're in the middle of that right now.
I grew up, my mom did everything. I didn't learn how to do any of that until I was out of the house. But like, I'm not doing that. You are perfectly capable, and that's a job. You need to cook. Like it doesn't have to be the woman that cooks all the time. You all are going to know how. This is a skill you need to have for life, and it's a skill you could bring into a marriage or relationship as well. That is beneficial to everybody.
Women appreciate it.
Yes.
We appreciate when our husbands know how to do practical life things.
Yes.
Like my mother-in-law is a gift. I could not have married into a better, I married into the best family. But my mother-in-law set Luke up to be a good husband. Like she really did. Like she taught him how to clean. He cleans better than me sometimes. He's like more anal about it than I am. You know, like I do a really good job like when it comes to the kitchen and the dishes because I am weird about how clean our kitchen needs to be. But like you put Luke in to clean the bathroom and he's going to be in there for an hour, deep cleaning it every time. That's because his mom raised him to clean well and to be an equal, you know, like, and so I'm always thankful to Bethany Wilston for raising a son who knows how to be a good husband. Yeah, because he's the best.